I'm Magnus Walker, top of the morning to you. Today I want to talk about my 67S, happens to be the year I was born. It's one of my favorite cars. I've owned this car for about 10 years. Got a pretty interesting story behind it. When I first acquired the car, it actually had turbo flares on it that had been grafted in over the original fenders. The car thankfully was still short wheelbase. So I had my Metal Master guru, Frank Turner, deflare it and put it back to sort of slab-sided narrow body. And I'd always wondered that this car may have been a race car or former track car in its past, had signs of a roll cage being in there, and it always felt a lot more sort of peppy and zippy to my other 2-liter cars. And I've owned a lot of 67S's. This one just felt like it had a little bit more zing. But I never really knew what the motor was. I knew it was a numbers matching case, but I didn't know if it had been built out or not until recently. I just had the motor rebuilt by my buddies at TRE Motorsports, and it turns out the motor is a 2.35 liter. So let's take a look at the motor first. I always say the heart and soul of any Porsche car is the motor. So this is the original numbers matching case, which would have been a 2-liter back in the day. The S version came out in 1967. It had approximately 160 horsepower compared to the normal 130 horsepower in the previous 2-liter car. So currently the configuration, 2.35 liter, single plug, short stroke, 66 millimeter crank with 87.5 millimeter pistons, 40 millimeter Weber carbs. It's running headers, sport exhaust, and a 901 transmission with short gears. So this is sort of a hill climb special type of car. It's really, really zingy, gets up to 100 really pretty rapidly, and then you kind of run out of gears. You sort of want another gear, but that's sort of how it goes, and that's the story there. Let's take a little walk around the car. Silver was the original color. My goal was to maintain the sort of what I call sport purpose livery. Added some red, put on some meatball decals. And then the car is rolling on my own signature 1552 wheels. So if you want to take a look at the wheels, we'll do a little story on those wheels. These are the 7R finish, 15 by 7 inch on Toyo R888 205 50 series tires with sort of a period correct-ish look. The brakes have been rebuilt. It's rolling on upgraded thicker torsion bars, 22 millimeter front, 28 millimeter rear, with some nice suspension adjustable spring plates from our friends over at Tarrant Racing. Let's take a little look inside. It's got the vintage shield bucket seats, which I upholstered in tartan. I stuck on one of my own signature wheels. It's got a little bit of S trim, and it's sort of period correct, less is more. So for me, less crapping, I'm gonna get cracking. I might